Yeah, I was really thrilled when I read the script because it's so much more than I expected. And I think that this movie is kind of, bringing up and throwing out the most important questions about life and, where did we come from and who created us and what's the purpose of life. But at the same time, it's this huge, amazing action film. So I've never really seen anything like this. And amazing characters in it. I think Ridley is really incredible at creating interesting, multi-layered characters and kind of throwing them into this science fiction world. So, all of us are quite rich characters except him because he's a robot. He doesn't have a soul.
Not really. It was sort of, the idea that it was always going to keep it ambiguous with David, whether, is it sort of, he's got a programmed objective, but then is there some way that programming has started to have a bleeding effect and that he's starting to develop his own motivations and to just always sort of play with those two things. And then it was just fun, I wanted to have fun with the character. Yeah, I think, I try and find different things each time, and try and sort of have explore different personalities and different characters as much as I can within, whatever range that I've got. And so that was the challenge of it again. It was a new sort of physical sort of embodiment and everything else, because I really wanted to try and sort of get the physicality of the robot and the tone, and then sort of internally have these sort of questionable sort of human traits. Yeah, I always have that feeling with any movie. I actually don't like to watch trailers myself for that reason. I like to go in with the sort of, as little knowledge on the thing as possible, on the film as possible. And that was the great thing about doing those sort of trailers, that are part of the movie but not in the movie, the sort of TED convention that Guy did, and each of us did that, the sort of introduction to our characters. I like that concept a lot.
So it's almost like you're collecting information but you're not revealing anything. Yeah, I think so, because it's like, even, I've seen it twice and I discover new things every time I see it, and it really feels like the way Ridley tells the story makes you think, and you really have to kind of go back to yourself. And when I read the script and when I was prepping for this part, I felt like I was kind of traveling back into my childhood and kind of facing myself and asking myself questions about, religion and what do I believe in and what do I want out of life. So it's really, he kind of captures really interesting things in it.
I think, if you're ever going to see a movie, like I'm talking sort of personally for myself, you always want it to live on after you leave the movie theater. So it's almost like the story continues. You just happen to catch that slice of it. So it does stay with you afterwards, and that's what you really want, people sort of discussing it afterwards, and everybody has their own sort of take on it, and it has their own impression. I think that some of the greatest films, it allows the sort of viewer to actually paint the canvas a lot themselves.
And it's really interesting to kind of hear reactions because people see different things in there. So it's like, I think it's really, it's so many layers to discover in it. Yeah, we were. And it kind of felt like we left Earth and we're out on some kind of weird journey together. And it's always fascinating how much it affects you, the character. Working with Michael, and his energy was so different, and he was really, I remember that I was trying to kind of, I was looking at him and trying to understand if he was cynical or sarcastic or what's going on. Is he making fun of me or not? So his energy was quite different. And that's really, I think we all worked, I think Ridley picked actors that really takes the work very serious, but still wants to have fun and kind of trying to work as a team. So it was, we had a lot of fun.
Yeah, it definitely is. Again, it's a great sort of, it's always very enjoyable when you're part of an ensemble piece, because you're all there challenging each other, but also supporting each other. It's really it's nice when all the sort of elements sort of come together. And again, that's sort of down to Ridley in terms of not just the sort of players in front of the camera, but the whole sort of crew. 300 people sort of involved on set, and he's you know, inspiring and involving himself with each department in such a way that it's incredible to watch.